Hello everyone, it's Sheila back again. I'm busy knitting another pocket for Dagry's cardigan for the other front. This is the front. I've just finished doing the pocket, and I've just done a tutorial on how to put the pocket in. So I'm going to show you what I did with this, because I have to put a pocket in the other side now, and then I'll be able to get the cardigan sewn up when I get that side finished. So this is a tutorial for you to see how to put an insert pocket into a cardigan. This is another tutorial how to insert a pocket into the front of a cardigan. Now I have a piece here that's been knitted, and I've put the stitches onto a little bit waste wool there. The other stitches, that's going to be the top of the pocket, that's going to have a bit rib on. And I'm going to join the bottom bit onto the knitting that I'm doing. Now I've got 62 stitches here, and there's 34 stitches for the pocket. So I've knit the first 14 stitches, then I'm going to pick up 34 stitches along here, and then knit the last 14 stitches on the end. But when I pick up these stitches here, I'm also going to pick up one stitch from the needle and one stitch from the bottom of the pocket, which I'll show how to do this. This is so you don't have to sew the bottom part of the so my needle through the first stitch, and this is the part of the pocket that's going to be shown through the thing. So I'm going to pick up first stitch down here, I'm going to knit those two stitches together. Take that stitch off the needle, go to the next one, It's a bit of a slow process because you have to be careful you're picking the stitches up. Making sure you're picking the right stitch up. And I've almost picked all the stitches up, and I'm and this one. There. And that's the last stitch on the pocket lining. There, and then when I knit, I'm going to knit those stitches at the end. But when I keep knitting, I'll be knitting up to where the pocket is here, and then I'll be taking those stitches off this needle and putting those stitches on and doing a little bit rib on this part when it gets up to here. But I'll come back and show you that when I get that far. Well, I have knit the front, that's the pocket inset in there, and I've knit the front up to where the pocket needs to be set in, and I've knit the first 14 stitches on the needle, and I've put the 34 stitches where the pocket goes onto some waste yarn. And now I'm going to pick up the stitches from this needle here, the needle of the pocket, and I'm going to pattern across the row, and it was 2 knit, so it's 2 purl. I'm going to pattern across those stitches. It's a bit blurry. That's 34 stitches off the pocket. And now I'm going to knit across the other 14 stitches on the needle. That's 2 knit stitches. Thought I'd got the pattern wrong there, but I haven't. And that's the pocket set in there now, and all I have to do is finish off the side, and then when I finish knitting the side, I'll do probably about 5 or 6 rows of rib to finish off this part here, and then all I have to do is stitch that down the sides, the pocket down the sides, because it's already on the bottom here. And that's how you insert the pocket. I'll show when I finish the thing. I'll show the rib and how it's stitched on. I've finished this piece of the cardigan, and I've pinned the pocket. And when I pinned it, you can see where I have to pick up these stitches after I've sewn it and do 1 or 2 rows of tight rib on there. But when I pinned the pocket, I stretched it slightly and pinned it and followed the line of knitting as best I could, but it is hard to see the actual stitches with this pattern. But if you look on the other side, the pins will tell me that I've followed the line with the pins. You have to try to follow the line of the knitting where the pocket has been attached to. Now all I have to do is stitch up the sides. I have my needle here. And I'm going to carefully just catch the thread on the other. I'm going to check on the other side, and you try not to bring it all the way through on the other side. You try to go through the stitch. You can't always do that though, sometimes you have to go all the way through and take that pin out. Another pin out. Take that pin out. And I'm not going to tie off this thread at the top. I'm going to leave it until after I've done the this bit here, just in case there's any tightening off to do afterwards. So I'll leave that long end for after I've done the rib over the top of the pocket. And this one has the bit to tighten off on that end, so I'm going to put a little bit of yarn and start from there, because I want to leave that end there in case I have to tie anything off inside here afterwards. So I'm going to do a little bit of yarn. I'm going to cut a little bit off the ball. And I'm going to start it off down in the bottom corner. I'm going to wrap the wool around the needle before I start sewing up the side. Oops, I've took the thread out of the needle. Take that pin out. I'm sewing this side up the same as I did the other side. Trying to carefully follow the line of the knitting. All of that thread, that's it. It's very awkward for me sewing this when I'm looking over the phone. It's easier to do it when I'm actually looking at the knitting. And that's the thread. I'm going to leave those threads and do those afterwards when I've done the rib on here. So that's the pocket sewn on there and there. And now I'll do the rib and I'll come back when I finish that. Yeah, I've picked up those stitches off the front of the pocket, and I'm going to do knit one, purl one, twisted rib, the same as the rib on here. Probably for about 4 or 5 rows. I'm not certain until I've actually started knitting it. And that's how I'm doing the rib. Now I'll come back when I finish this. I've knit 4 rows and knit one, purl one, twisted rib, and I'm going to cast off in the same way. Knit one, purl one, twisted rib, and loosely, but not too loosely. If you have the stitches too loosely, they'll sort of come down like this. So you have to be careful when you're casting off the stitches that you don't do them too loose. and you just carry on across the row like that. And I'm going to see you at the end of that row, because it's very hard for me to do this work while I'm looking over the top of a phone camera. Now that's the pocket stitched, well knitted. I'm going to stitch the sides of it now. And I'll find where the hole was, where the pocket was there. So this is the line here that I'm going to stitch it to. Oh, I lost this thread. So I'm going to take that there and stitch it up onto there. And then take that thread through to the other side, and then I will fasten that off with the other pieces on the other side after I've done this side. And the same with this side. That's the hole that you have to close up on the other side. So I'm going to catch the stitches on those sides. Then I'm going to take that through to the other side now. And that's the pocket stitched on. I just have to sew in those little ends on the other side that I left. And then it's all finished. And then all I have to do is knit the pocket for the other side and knit that. So that's a little bit of information for anybody that doesn't know how to do a pocket. Well, that's not much more to do on Daggery's cardigan. I get this pocket knitted. I've just finished casting on 34 stitches for the pocket. But I've had a very busy day today and I haven't had time to sit down and do some knitting because I've had to do 3 large lawns, which I have 2 lawns in the back garden and 1 in the front garden, and they were desperately needed cutting. So that's what I was doing today, and then it took me a long time to sweep up all the mess, the grass that had went over onto the path, and so I was pulling in the back garden, pulling up some of the weeds that were coming through my paving and other place. But I'm going to have to do some more tomorrow. My hedge wants trimming. I'm going to do that tomorrow. I know it won't be the last time this year because it's usually the first week in October. That's usually the last time I cut the grass and the hedges. So I've probably got one more to do for the rest of this year, and then I can just sit and relax and do my knit, and I won't have anything to do in the garden except a little bit weeding, and there is quite a bit of weeding to do actually. But if you like my video and would like to see more, thumbs up and subscribe. So bye for now.